Hello, welcome to today's vlog. My name is Adam, and today we're talking Star Wars. In fact, we're talking Star Wars every day from now until the 18th, which is when Rise of the Skywalker comes out. In fact, my cinema on the, the Wednesday? Is doing a triple bill of it. On the 18th on the Wednesday. They're showing The Force Awakens, The Last Jedi, and then Rise of the Skywalker, as well as a midnight showing of Rise of the Skywalker. And then it's out on general release on the 19th, or Thursday, Friday, and all that jazz. Or, no, Friday. Comes out Friday, sorry. So, yeah, basically. So I thought I'd talk about Star Wars every day leading up to it, because this is a massive thing, and it's episode 9, okay, Rise of the Skywalker, and it's evidently meant to tie in every Star Wars film that has come before it to bookend it, So, George Lucas started this with episode 4 back in 1977, the year I was born. Man, I was born in Star Wars year. I'll probably die in Star Wars year too. But George Lucas started this in 1977, made a film called Star Wars. It wasn't called Episode 1 or 4, sorry. It was just called Star Wars. And then it went mega, just mental, toys, merchandise, films. And then it was like, George was like, well, of course, it was always part of a larger story. So, we could do another one. So they did a sequel, The Empire Strikes Back. And that just expanded the story even more, opening up the possibilities of, the kinds of stories that could be told, because it's set in a galaxy, in a different kind of universe, and it's a long time ago. So it's like endless story possibilities, really. And of course, it had a mad moment of truth in it, of where you learn that the hero from the first film, episode, and I think actually when it hit home video, it did say episode 5. I'm pretty sure it did, I'm pretty sure it said episode 5, because when Star Wars hit home video in the late 80s, that said episode 4. But the first home video release, which was in 1982 of Star Wars, it just said Star Wars. I've got an old VHS copy, and it just says Star Wars. But then suddenly, I think in 89 to 1992, there was re-releases pretty much like in 89, and then again in 92, where it said episode 4. So George was like, well, of course, it's always part of a larger story. So maybe one day I'll get to go back and do episode 1, 2, and 3. But for now, it was like Empire Strikes Back, and you learn that Luke, the hero of Star Wars episode 4, has a father. And it's like, Luke, I am your father. And you're like, no! And even Luke's going, no, that's impossible. And it's like, whoa. And it's just like, honestly, they drop a bomb. And it's not like a bad bomb. It's not like Last Jedi bomb, where people go, oh, no, man, that was terrible. This was like, oh, boy. This was like a massive, I can't wait to see what's going to happen, because obviously it ends on a cliffhanger. And even though I don't think it was announced at the time that, yes, there's a third Star Wars coming, everybody knew it was coming. So, and then like 3 years later, we had Return of the Jedi. And it's like, oh, yeah, man, the Jedi are coming back. And of course, as far as everybody knew back then, everything was tied up, because, we finally learn that there is a puppet master. He's the one pushing Darth's strings, or pulling them, and it's the Emperor, the mad, massive evil man. But he dies at the end. Darth Vader goes, oh, my son, and then throws the Emperor off, and we see whirlwind of death. Got a bruise there. Where's that come from? And then that's it, gone, And Luke then is like, yeah, we won. The Ewoks are all happy, and I can see there's me dad, there's Yoda, there's me mate Ben. Oh, they're all together in Ghostland. I'm with my sister and chums, and everything is excellent. And then it ends. The whole saga ends, and as far as anybody knew, that was the end of Star Wars. Like this is the end of Star Wars. J.J. Abrams has said that this is the final bookend of the 9 films that came before it, and this is going to tell everything. So it's like, okay, fair enough then. If that's what you say, J.J., we'll believe you, mate. Let me just put that there for a second. Yeah, so that way, arms aching holding that. Yeah, right. So it's like, yeah, man. Now, what is this thing that I was talking about? The paradox. This is the paradox of Star Wars that everybody knows about. Okay, so when they were released, it was Star Wars Episode 4 first, and then Episode 5, and then Episode 6. So the 3 ending films for the original trilogy were made first, and then they went backwards and made 1, 2, and 3. Okay? So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and now we're making 7, 8, 9. So when it comes to watching it, if you were my age, right, I'm 42, I grew up with Star Wars. So therefore, I saw Return of the Jedi first. That was my introduction to Star Wars. I'd never seen Empire Strikes Back or Star Wars first. I watched Return of the Jedi first. Because I was born in 77. So I didn't really see these other ones. And then when I saw Return of the Jedi, I thought, oh, this is cool. Found out that there's 2 more, went and watched them. And then you end up watching them 4, 5, and 6 in order, right? And you learn the story then, and you go, oh, and you learn when Darth Vader says, Luke, I am your father. You're like, whoa, my gosh, I didn't know that before. And it's mega. And it's like, mind blown. And then it makes even more sense that when Darth is like at the top of his evil, and Luke's like, hey, I'm going to save you, Dad. And he's like, no, I'm evil. And he ends up saving him. He ends up going, there is good inside of you. And so Darth Vader kills the Emperor and saves the day. And the Ewoks are happy and everyone's loving it. And Luke's sad because he's lost his father now. He has to burn him on the stake. And it's like, oh, he died, but he saved everybody. And I helped him. And it's great. But the thing is, and that means that really had an emotional connection when you saw it. And Return of the Jedi was a right emotional film. Like when Vader's taunting him, your sister. And it's like, oh. And then Luke lets rip and he goes, ah! Slashes Vader down. And then it's the Emperor's going, good. You're mine. And but then Luke saves the day, and Vader saves the day, and the Skywalker saved the day, and it was great. But then when they go back and make the prequels, a paradox is opened now, because if you watch them in the order they're created, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 7, 8, 9, and you're like, ah, the story is completely messed up, because like that's how they were released. That's how I saw these films. But obviously when you go back to watch these, or when you have a 9-film saga and you go back to watch them, everyone's going to go back to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 to watch them, aren't they? Because that's logical. But then you're going to learn all about Anakin growing up. Little farm boy slave growing up, who gets picked up by a bearded dude, basically kidnapped to train him up to be a Jedi because he's the one. And then he falls in love when he shouldn't have, and then they have children, and he turns into Darth Vader because he has best friends issues. It's like, okay, so I know Vader is Luke's dad now. Like, I've seen it happen, So when it comes to, like, okay, Luke doesn't know because he was a baby when he was given to the aunt and uncle, and then it's like, when we learn in Episode 5... it's like, that's not a big thing now because I already knew that. I saw that back in Episode 3. So it's like, it doesn't really hit home as much. You're like, okay, Luke's found out. Ooh, very good, And then in Return of the Jedi, when Luke's going, Father, there's still good inside of you. I know that, so the Emperor hasn't taken it from you fully. Luke just sounds like a little whinging kid. Daddy, Daddy, don't go to the dark side, And it doesn't have the same emotional ring that when you watch it 4, 5, 6, and you learn that revelation of Luke and Vader, and then he's taunting Luke in Return of the Jedi, and then he ends up saving Vader. It's like, it has a completely different meaning. The meaning has been completely changed because now we've seen the prequels first. So it's like, what do you do? It's like, how do I watch these films going forward? How do you paradox? I mean, I watch them episode 1, 2. I mean, I know the story now, so I don't see it for the first time. But if you're coming in for the first time, there's a paradox on how do you watch these films. Do you watch them chronologically in the way they were made, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, and then 7, 8, 9, or do you watch them chronologically numbered 1 to 9? That's the paradox, man. And anybody who has lived through this, like me, if you're watching this and you're my age, or you're like 35 maybe or above, and you've lived through watching 4, 5, 6 first, and then going back to watch 1, 2, 3, and somebody who's never seen Star Wars, and there must be at least one person left on the planet who's yet to see it, and they go, I fancy giving it a go, so which one do I watch first? And you're like, well, we'll start with number 1. And it's like, yeah, but you're not going to have the same emotional connection to these films as somebody who's grown up with them and watched them back to front like that, I mean, I can't wait for Rise of Skywalker. Don't get me wrong. Is it going to be the final bookend? Well, they said that at Return of the Jedi. So, do you know what I mean? Okay, maybe for the Skywalker saga, maybe for the Skywalker name, the family opera, okay. But I think there'll still be Star Wars films coming in the future. I really do, because there's more stories out there to be told, and these are fun, cool stories to be told, adventures, And Disney got to make some money, with the Disney Plus. So it's like TV shows only go so far, but I reckon there's still going to be a feature film coming in the future. Maybe for the new generation who have yet to experience it for the first time. Because there's always going to be somebody bored who's never seen Star Wars, But that's the paradox, is like, what order do you watch it in? I always watch it in 1 to 9. I have watched it, though, the original trilogy, because I've got them on VHS still. And I've also got 35mm prints on the computer. But I would watch 4, 5, 6 original theatrical release trilogy, then go back and watch 1, 2, 3 episodes, and then watch the Blu-ray 4, 5, 6 again, like super duper remastered edition, and then 7, 8, 9. And I think that's probably the best way to watch it, because you still get those emotional beats, but then you end up still watching it in order the way it was meant to be seen. Anyway, that's just what I think about the paradox. And like, everybody has that conversation, so what order do I watch it in? Well, this is the best order to watch it in, and then they give you that answer. But then it's like, you don't get that emotional connection with Return of the Jedi. You don't get that big, massive, Let me know in the comments below what order you watch these films in. I mean, I'm also including Rogue One, Solo, because they're Star Wars films. I think they're great films. I really enjoyed Solo, and it's such a shame we're not going to get a sequel to that. But I really wanted to see, it continue that story thread. And, it's like, if nothing is made of it, it's like, well, what was the whole point with Darth Maul in it? Oh, spoilers, by the way. It's like, what was the point in that? Because that just now is meaningless unless they do something with it. So that's probably why in the future maybe they will do something. Maybe in the Kenobi series. Maybe he'll come back then. Who knows? But anyway, that's what I think. And tomorrow I shall be back with another Star Wars related video. Stay tuned tomorrow. It won't be the same time. It could be any time, to be honest. But same channel, same guy. All right, take care. See you tomorrow. Bye.